As Beni said when they shared this story a couple of months ago, he's hoping that people will take from this story a message about the power of human connections. And I really do believe that this day and age, we take human connection for granted so much. Hello, everybody. Here to get on my soapbox for today, covering some hot topics over the past few days that I saw and wanted to talk about. And I guess we should begin with the latest Sydney Sweeney controversy with the whole jeans ad from months and months ago. She gave an interview with GQ that had the internet blowing up. And first of all, talking about the jeans ad, it was controversial because the ad decided to play a play of words on the word gene, spelled with a J, with the word gene, spelled Gene, which made the ad talking about good genes with Sydney Sweeney seem like it was talking about her being blonde-haired with blue eyes, being, good genes. Was it an ad about white supremacy? Was it about Nazism? And while the internet tends to overblow a lot of things, the internet also tries to make us not have common sense and critical thinking. And anyone with common sense would see the ties to the ad playing on the word gene, having someone like Sydney Sweeney, who's blonde hair and blue eyes, be in the ad. And yeah, the critical thinking of that is the conclusion that a lot of people drew. And I know social media and a certain side of social media wants everyone to be dumbed down. Billionaires will throw Nazi salutes and then go around saying, well, that's not what I meant. I was just trying to show love. But then that same billionaire will go to Germany and try and support the AfD, who is very anti everything not white. And then you wonder how you draw these conclusions. So the critical thinking was right when it came to Sydney Sweeney's ad, despite what some side of social media will want you to believe. One thing that doesn't get talked enough about with this ad is that the jeans were bad. They're not good jeans. Sydney Sweeney's butt looked terrible in those jeans. And this is not me body shaming her. No, this is me shaming the jeans. Good jeans are supposed to make your ass look better, and instead they make her ass look terrible. But she never really got confronted about it until this interview. The interview was awkward because the interviewer was so weak. It's something I complain about here a lot lately. These interviewers will always be giving softballs to celebrities, whether it's a big celebrity, a small reality show celebrity. People are afraid to ask the real questions. This interviewer could not even look at Sydney Sweeney. She was so intimidated. Was trying to dance around the question about the ad in the first place, which made it just a hard watch. And Sydney Sweeney did not give her much of anything, although her answer to me was Sydney Sweeney supporting the ad.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
Not even dismissing the controversy, basically saying she didn't care about the controversy. Sydney Sweeney's answer was, I don't care about the controversy. If I did care about it, I would talk about it, but I don't, was basically what she was saying. So Sydney Sweeney seemed to support whatever critical thinking we all believed about the ad. And Sydney's also involved with Scooter Braun right now. And I've been doing these little mini documentaries, these deep dives, and when it comes to the music industry, I did one with Ariana Grande about a week and a half ago. Just did one with Justin Bieber. And Scooter Braun's name is always in there doing something. He played hardball to amass the millions that he now has. He went through a divorce a few years ago. He is a figure in the industry, like many big figures in the Hollywood industry, that will do anything to get money. And so now him dating Sydney Sweeney, Sydney's getting pushback from that as well, because a lot of fans don't like Scooter, especially Swifties, Taylor Swift fans. Although Swifties are a problem with modern society as well. The celebrity culture gets worse every single year. It's why I get sick of them having to have these softball questions. It's like they will do something for money, but then when it comes to being questioned about what they do for money, they want to either deflect or throw it back in our faces. These comedians go to Saudi Arabia, piss off their own fan bases. They want to call their own fan bases racist because they deserve to go to Saudi Arabia and make blood money. And then when things like the whole Diddy stuff comes out, all of Hollywood and society wonders how it could be covered for so long. It's because we let our news, we let these interviewers just always give softball questions. And then these celebrities and the really dark side of the business can get away with everything for so long because they don't get held accountable. As for the Sydney Sweeney and Scooter Braun relationship, it's very odd because they're also being accused of faking it, that it's just some stunt. And I don't know why it would be fake, but judging by the pictures where they're trying to make it seem very natural and candid, it comes off as them actually playing it up for the cameras. Like, these pictures are supposed to be candid shots, like paparazzi like shots, but if you look at the pictures, it looks like they're playing up to the camera, like they are trying their best to seem like they're just so into each other, and yet Scooter's looking right at the cameras even though they're in these loving embraces. It's just very odd. So the photos of them together tend to look fake, but I don't understand an idea as to why they would be fake and why they would be faking this for PR, because I don't think it's good PR for either one of them. Whatever. My rant on celebrities, though, and not being held accountable brings me to Jeremy Renner, who has been accused by Yi Zhou, which I'm probably butchering her name, but she is someone in the industry as well who apparently was working on some things with Jeremy Renner. They had some projects they were doing together. One was an AI project, which is stupid, and the other was some sort of documentary on like Disney. In them working together, it seemed like they became closer and even got involved in a relationship, but apparently it turned really bad for her because Renner seems to have issues. And to me, it seems like Renner has not had enough snow plows in his life. Maybe he does need another one, because apparently at the start of this relationship, he was sending a lot of sexual texts to her with porn gifs and everything about what she wanted. They got involved with this relationship, and it turned bad. They both weren't getting their way. Like, these relationship problems, especially with celebrities, there's usually two sides to every story. There is, because you can see in the text messages that she posted that she was trying to cuss him out a little bit, but then his response was that he's going to call ICE on her, basically going to call immigration because she's Chinese. And that's a low shot from Renner. But also, he really shouldn't be talking about ice, because anything that involves winter, you would think would give Renner PTSD after the snowplow incident that almost took his life. It was so bad. But it seems like that incident didn't make him a better person. It kept him the same kind of person. There was time she is documenting when he was getting drunk and starting to become abusive and scaring her with threats. She posted text messages texting one of her friends that night back in August when this incident with Jeremy Renner was happening. Her friend worried that she wouldn't be safe, that she needed to lock herself in a room. So Jeremy Renner seems like he had this short but dramatic relationship with this documentarian. The problem with Jeremy is this is not the first time these things have been said about him. He was in a marriage long ago. They had a custody battle at the end of the 2010s, And she had to talk about all the times that Jeremy Renner was abusive in that relationship as well. Even one time getting drunk, and shooting a gun in an argument with someone, like in the shilling when their kid was home. And so once again showing that Jeremy Renner has issues. His excuses over the years has been like he does a lot of drinking and sometimes doesn't remember. He has gone on record saying he doesn't recall any of these abusive incidents. But in court, the nanny was against Renner. So like I said, there's two sides to every story with these relationships, but she did have the nanny on her side when it came to actual court, saying that some of the drunken incidents of Jeremy being abusive, and even the incident of shooting a gun during a argument, was real. So Renner has issues. Hollywood won't do anything about it. He'll get softball questions about this. There'll be nothing held accountable. I don't know what really went on between him and this documentarian. Some say that she's just having sour grapes because he wouldn't promote their projects together. But she also does have a text message of him saying he was going to call ICE on her, and text messages with her friend when she was scared to be alone with him at one point because he was threatening her. So Renner has issues. Hollywood won't do shit about it. But today, like I'm going to try and do more often, I do want to end on a positive note. These stories become few and far between these days on social media, some positive stories. But this story has gone viral, even though it came out 2 months ago, about this man who back in 2018 had to get to the hospital. His name being Joey Romano. He was skateboarding and he swerved to avoid a car and he slammed into a ditch and he broke his wrist and he was needed to get to the hospital, but of course he doesn't want to call an ambulance because that's going to be costly. So he called an Uber, and this driver by the name of Beni Lukumu, I'm going to butcher this name too, Beni Lukumu, arrived and helped him in the car because he had just hurt himself in that accident and was going to take him to urgent care. And this driver, Benny, was so nice, he wasn't even going to charge him for the ride. They talked during the car ride, and Lukumu found out that the guy didn't have any family nearby. Now, Joey has posted this picture from 7 years ago that Benny not only took him to the ER, but stayed with him the whole time that he was in the ER. Kept him company because all of his family was out of state. And this Benny immigrated to the U.S. from Congo at the age of 25, so he knew what it was like to be away from his loved ones. And Joey was younger than him at the time. I don't know how old Joey was, but I'm assuming somewhere in his 20s only. So not only did he take him to the ER and keep him company, he helped sign the papers for him because he had just hurt his wrist, broke it even. And Johnny had been going through a tough time in his life at that point. His little brother had died of leukemia, just 10 years old, about 10 years before this. It seemed like Joey Romano was in a depression. And here's this stranger, an Uber driver, being so friendly, showing him that there are still good people in this world. And because of this happening, they still keep in touch. 7 years later, they still text each other at least a few times a year to check up on one another. And I'm glad that they have shared this story once again. They shared it in 2018 on Instagram, but they're sharing it to more of the public now. Romano saying that one act of kindness helped me see the good in the world again. Having him spend his entire day with me, a complete stranger for no reason than the goodness of his heart, helped me to put things into perspective. Benny absolutely changed my life. So this one run-in with a stranger who's being just a kind soul could really change someone's life. And I really do wish more people would think this way. As Beni said when they shared this story a couple of months ago, he's hoping that people will take from this story a message about the power of human connection, how simple acts of compassion can create bonds and change lives. And I really do believe that this day and age, we take human connection for granted so much. We have a younger generation growing up with all of this technology, but with all of this technology is a lot of isolation. They have a hard time not only developing relationships, but even friendships. And it's not great. And the older I get, the harder it is to develop new friendships. It takes a lot of time to do that. And I feel like people are afraid of the human connection. They're afraid to be vulnerable with people. They're afraid to maybe go out on a limb and help someone, to just do a good deed for someone. And yet that good deed really can help someone. It could change someone's life. As Beni said in this quote in one of the news things, the world is so divided right now. What we need is love and kindness. And I agree. As much as I love to talk shit, and I'm not going to stop talking shit, especially when people deserve it, though. In real life, I also like to go out of my way and be very friendly when it comes to my friends and helping them out when they need it. And I hope more people can maybe go out, reach out to someone you haven't talked to in a while. Maybe if you really do see someone in need, just do a little something to help them out. I want to end today on a positive message that if you're missing the human connection out there, you're not having enough of the human connection out there, maybe you need to go out on a limb and try and help or reach out to someone else, because they might be feeling the same way. They might need it too.